Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for a Sunday night. And what a Sunday night it is. I'm going to tell you something. Uh, my 49ers are trash. They are straight trash. Losing to the Arizona Cardinals today after leading all day is just ridiculous. They really need to figure out what's going on and fix it quickly because the season is slipping away for them very, very fast. Hey, it's good to see you all in the chat. Hey, Melody, DJ, Mr. Dan Yee, Angela, Melody again, Elaine. By the way, this message here, new donator and member ending video has been made. Um, I'll explain the way it works. So the first, not tonight, that tonight has the majority of people, but from tomorrow when I remake it again, it'll have the people who do like Ko-Fi and PayPal at the top. The next will be the people in the membership. It'll go via tier. So whoever's the highest tier will go first, and then so on, and that way I cannot go crazy trying to figure out who has to go where. So that'll be the way it works, and it'll be a list, not a panel of names. But we finally got it done, got it fixed, and took about 5 hours last night to figure out how to do it, but we did it. Angela, good to see you. Wendy, Nana Lana. Elaine was here. Elaine says it's 3 a.m. in England. Yeah, those time zone changes really screwing me around too. I feel all over the shop because our time moved forward. I feel like it's supposed to be midday and it's not, and I'm a little. I don't normally get really messed up with the time, the daylight savings change, but this year I have been. It's really messed with my head. Hey Natasha, good to see you. Diamond, good to see you too. And Sienna and JDR's here. All right, Rachel's here. Hey Rachel. All right, let's do the first bit. So we're going to do a bit of hurricane talk. I get a lot of requests to do hurricane coverage, and I'm thinking I may do it for Milton. So if you want to hang out with Ping and talk hurricanes in Florida, we may have some extra live shows this week just to do hurricane coverage. So give me 1 second. I'm going to load some videos. 1 minute. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos out of Milton right now for the Hurricane Milton. And I'm telling you, it does not look good. I really thought we were going to get like maybe a Cat 2, that there was it was like an overestimation or something, but it's already intensifying faster than I thought it was going to. So let me play this one video and then I'll show you a couple of analytical videos on the hurricane.
I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate. We are preparing, and I have the State Emergency Response Team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen, most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma. But to that end, I want to go back to our basics. Evacuate if you're in an evacuation zone. If you are not in an evacuation zone and your house was built in conjunction with the Florida Building Code, which pretty much throughout the state of Florida means after 2004, you may be better just to stay in place. If you're dependent on power, you will need to evacuate. If you're dependent on a special set of circumstances, you'll need to evacuate. But if you're not one of those individuals and you're inland, not in an evacuation zone, it may be better for you to just stay in place.
So there you heard it. The largest evacuation on record in the state of Florida in many, many years. This thing is not screwing around, and I think the compounding effects of Hurricane Helene is not helping. I think things are already quite stretched. I think there's already a lot of damage. The ground is already very soggy, meaning absorption rates into the ground and then into the groundwater is not going to go as fast as it should do because it's already so drenched. So flooding will occur much easily compared to if it was dry ground that had been through a hot summer. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to show you this one. This is a satellite intensity video from today. And you can see that explosive growth in this hurricane now. you're starting to see those thunderstorms really, what we call high top thunderstorms. You're starting to see those accelerate. You're starting to see more action around that center of that low. So it's starting to make an eye here. It's still very sort of, it's not super organized. Like it does have a pretty good shape, but that eye is not super circular or symmetrical right now, but I reckon it will be not too long, maybe 12 hours, maybe less. And then this is the forecast map right now. So you can see it traveling across the Gulf. It actually took a slightly different trajectory. And then you see it cross Florida and then head out into the Atlantic. Now, what's interesting about that is it could very well cross or traverse Florida, head into the Atlantic. If this is warm enough, it could re-intensify into a hurricane again and then head off north. That has happened before. I'm not sure if it'll happen in this time, but it is a possibility. It does not look good, everyone. If you're on the Tampa Bay side, or if you're on the Space Coast of Florida, I would be looking into your floodplain planning right now and making sure you're not in an evacuation area and you're not in a flood prone area, which there is a map and a website. I'll show you in a second. Here's some satellite images from today. You are starting to see that more circular look to it and more organization of that thunderstorm. It's a little slow moving, but it will pick up speed. Eventually, it'll sort of look like it de-anchors and just take off, but it might be another 12 hours or something like that. It's really just sitting here churning right now, sucking up all that warm ocean moist evaporate from the surface level. And yeah, then it's going to become supercharged and head off to Florida, unfortunately. Get about Tampa. What? Get about Tampa? I don't know what that means. I just know it's probably the forecasting models look like it's either going to hit Tampa or just north of Tampa. That's sort of what it looks like to me, but it's going to be almost from the models right now. It looks like it could be a direct hit. The three different ones that have come out in the last 24 hours to 48 hours show it basically hitting Tampa head on. It doesn't matter which track it takes, whether it dips south or goes straight across the Gulf. It's like it's got a bullseye lock on Tampa. So it's not good. Oh, get out of Tampa? Yeah, if you're in Tampa, you need to leave. You need to leave. Do not stay. Go north. Or if you want to go, if you have friends and family south, go south. Go like as far south as you can get, I guess, but I would suggest that you go north and get out of its way. It's going to traverse across and then exit on the eastern side. If you can get to Georgia, even though I know they've got a lot of rebuilding efforts right now, or you can get to Texas, go. Don't stay. Don't leave it too late. And then what'll happen is you'll see how bad it is when it hits Tampa. And if you're just a little bit inland, you'll be like, oh, maybe I should have left. Don't do that because you'll end up getting yourself killed trying to run from the hurricane. People die all the time uh, leaving too late. It happens in fire situations, it happens in hurricane situations, it happens in tornado situations. Be decisive in your plan for the hurricane and enact your safety plan. Do it north. Do it now. Don't wait. Diane Marie was gifted a membership by Siana. Thank you. Unfortunately, we had something like 30 cancellations of memberships this month, which it impacts me pretty hard. It sucks, but must have been putting out pretty crap content then. It says here STL Cards was gifted a membership by Danny Mitchell. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it, Danny and Siana. It's very kind of you both. Rachel says, I read that a bunch of hotels north were already full. Keep going, keep bringing. Find wherever the next one is that has a availability and go. Biden, can't say that one, Danny. Sorry. But yeah, it's looking Here, let me take you to this page here, and let's slow this down. So this is your average precip rate, and this will show you where the rain's going to come from. So if we look at it here as it comes ashore into Florida, right there, you can see this side, or what we call a quadrant of the hurricane. This is just going to pound Tampa. There you go. And there's the mass amounts of rain right there on the coast coming inland. And then it's going to go, and it's going to stretch through this region, and the eye is going to move slightly further south. So it's that northern side of the hurricane is where it's going to be the worst. And yeah, a lot of rain, but it's going to traverse pretty quickly. From what I understand, it's going to be, I don't know, like 6 hours or something, not even. And it's going to power through Florida and head into the Atlantic. What it does after the Atlantic, I don't know. It could re-intensify if there's enough warm water and it can get enough good, clean air. It could re-intensify and then head north, and then we could be looking at New York later next week. A lot of things would have to go right for that to happen. Right now, I'm not so sure, but it has happened in the past. All right. Hey, Catatonic. Hey, Diane. How are you? Nanalana says there are still hundreds missing from Helene. Don't be another statistic. That's right. You saw how bad Helene was. How many families are missing their loved ones? Don't be a person who has to be looked for. Hold on. Melody says, is this the end of the hurricane season? No. I'm pretty sure it goes to November 30. November 30 is the end of the hurricane season in America. At least I'm pretty sure about that. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. I'm pretty sure that's correct, that it keeps going for quite a while, that we're gonna this is interesting. You already see quite a lot of thunderstorm activity over Florida right now, which is not abnormal for this time of year, but it's not gonna help the come on. It's not gonna help the people who wanna pack and leave. Here, I'll show you. So you see the hurricanes out here, and look at all the thunderstorm activity already over uh, Florida right now. You guys are already dealing with, those onshore storms that seem to happen almost every day through the warmer months in Florida. So there you go. There's that. All right. Let me show you some of the floodplain stuff, and then we'll move on to true crime. Let me grab that link. By the way, I'll show you windy too, just for... So this is right now. So here's windy. And if we move our little thing, -2. All right, let's go here. So 39 miles per hour southwest right now. Let's see where he goes when we press the button. There you go. You see that eye really tighten up. And he sort of dips south. This is where the radar models are thinking, the weather models think it's going to happen. He's going to sort of dip south and get really close to that peninsula here. It may even sort of like do some damage down here. And it's going to sort of skirt Cuba as well. But then it's going to take a hard north turn. Not abnormal with hurricanes to make a last turn towards somewhere. And then you see it here. And look at this, right on St. Petersburg, and then Tampa and Bradenton, Florida, very Sarasota too. Right through this. What's scary about that is that eye wall almost looks like it comes in the bay here. It almost looks like it goes straight through this bay area. Let me back it up here. Look at that. You can see the eye right in there. See, that's not a good thing. Right there. Right in the Tampa Bay. Do you know what that's going to do? That's going to push down and then push water straight onto the land, and that's going to make that storm surge even worse because it's almost like it's going to come through here and make that water move quite significantly. Very different if the eye wall was sort of down here or sort of up here. The fact it's going almost straight through this canal or bay opening here, the headlands, not great. Really not great. There you go. You can see a better look at it there. That eye straight through. So it's going to push all this water up through here, up onto here, through Tampa, maybe even St. Petersburg here. It's going to be pretty bad. You see all these low-lying areas like through here. Anything that has a low-lying structure through here, all these type of places, these homes here. Anyone that lives in these sort of like what do they call it? Like the Keys type looking things. These little barrier island things. Anywhere through here, even these guys could be in a bit of trouble. So right now, it looks like not a very good situation. If you are anywhere out there, please, in natural safety plan, don't leave it till it's too late, and just know where you can go. If you have friends in another state up north, maybe they can take you in for a few days or something like that. Make it a party. Hey, say you haven't seen them in 6 months. You're like, hey, I meant to visit you. Let's have a party this weekend, and you can head up to their place and hang out, and it's going to be much better than being here. I can promise you. So let me just show you the floodplain thing. Yeah, flood areas. Just so I show you how extensive it is. Know your zone. Okay. So a lot of people concentrate on the first place the hurricane hits, so Tampa, right? But it's gonna get worse. All right. So here's the flood warning zones for Tampa and the Bay and St. Petersburg here. And you can see this is a pretty big evac zone. What does it say? Let's put our house there. Evacuation zone A, it says that you are could be in a lot of trouble, but let's go inland a little bit. Look, even down here, you have some. These waterway systems could be impacted all throughout here. You have another level A right here. And we put our little home here. Hey, clear search area. There we go. That's also a zone A. So you can see how far inland a lot of this moves. Orlando right now is looking okay. Like none of these lake areas and these little like these little waterways and stuff around Disney and that, they don't look like they're getting any evac warnings right now. Although I did hear that Disney World is closed for the rest of the week, something like that. And then up here, this is where the hurricane's going to exit on the eastern side, and you can see all these waterways, all low-lying areas, all warned, a lot of reds, a lot of purples, a lot of let's do a purple one. What does that say? Let's clear that. What does the purple one say? You are in evacuation zone E. All right, let's do a yellow one. You are in evacuation zone C. So all of these have different things. You can see it here. There's tropical storm zone, zone A, zone AB, Monroe, zone B, BC, Volusia County in a different one. Yeah, all Nassau County, all these different ones. But you can just see the extent of some of this flooding that may occur. It's a little far north here, but I think this might be from remnants of Helene, and they're worried that more flooding and rain may actually cause this to be worse than it already is. So it's going to go up through here, and they believe it's probably going to go straight up somewhere over here. It's going to sideswipe Orlando, I think. So it's sort of going to come up through here and then sort of go in this direction, straight up through here. It'll be interesting. So yeah, head on this website. It's called floridadisaster.maps. I think you can just Google know your zone, and it'll tell you if you are required to evacuate, how severe it might be for you, that type of thing. So worried about a friend in Sarasota? Sarasota looks like it could be pretty bad. But Tampa and north and south of Tampa, they're the ones I'd be looking at. Bradenton, yeah, Sarasota too, north of there. All right, there's your little Milton update from Ping. I've been tracking this just all day, all night, trying to figure out what's going on because we have a lot of people who are from Florida that watch this channel. So it's been a hell of a 10 days for Florida and the southeastern United States. People are saying, I hope Milton loses strength. I don't think so right now. It looks like it's actually going to rapidly intensify, not die off. I've seen some forecasts saying it's going to be a Cat 3. If it continues on the trajectory that it is doing right now and it keeps intensifying at the rate it has been, it could even get a little higher than that, maybe a Cat 4, but I'm thinking high end Cat 3. I reckon it might not make it to the 4, but we'll see. The next 24 hours should tell us a lot. It'll give us a lot more of an opening onto what's going to happen. Huh. Dog went back home with his tail between his legs. Probably sold a lot of advertising for his podcast. So, all right, let's keep going. So, let's talk about Mamta. We haven't talked about it for a while, and I feel bad about it because we haven't forgotten about her. I just, there's not been a ton come out, but did want to show you this from ABC News 7, WJLA. The police chief did give an update the other day. So let me bring that to you. So there you go. Some interesting news on him still trying to wiggle his way out of jail. I think he should just stay there because he doesn't deserve freedom right now unless he can tell us what happened to his wife. Even then, he's going to have to answer for the charges. Also, there was this video from the Manassas Park police chief, and it says they have a lot of evidence in the case against Naresh. So let's watch that one too.
USA 9 News at 11, and we start tonight with a story you will not see anywhere else. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm Lorenzo Hall. Tonight, we're getting brand new details about the search for Mamta Bhatt. The young nurse and mother has been missing from Manassas Park since late July. Our Katie Lusso has been helping lead our coverage of Mamta's story since then. And tonight, Katie, the police chief, only spoke with you about this search. Are they any closer to finding Mamta?
Well, tonight he told me that they continue to get tips and leads, and what they've been doing is lining up those leads with the data they're getting back from things like Naresh's phone and car, and that's how they're deciding where they should search next. It's a conversation you will only see here on WUSA 9. This was Mamta Bhatt's last post on social media, the date July 28th. It's also the last day anyone other than her husband Naresh Bhatt heard from her. He told WUSA 9 he last saw her on the 31st.
In the evening of the Wednesday, we were here and then we ate together.
During a welfare check on August 2nd, he told police she had gone to Texas or New York.
The New York or Texas.
Since then, Naresh Bhatt has been arrested and charged with concealing a dead body.
I don't believe she's alive. I know there's some people out there on social media saying that she is, but I don't believe she's alive at this point. There's no evidence that proves that she is.
Manassas Park Police Chief Mario Lugo says his department has been working nonstop on this case.
Searches, we've done over 10. We've done grid searches. We've done searches with canines, search warrants, and subpoenas and stuff. I think we're pushing approximately 30 already that we have. Search warrants of the house, obviously, data from the car, financial records from banking institutions, phone records, and stuff like that for GPS.
He pointed out that where they haven't searched yet are any bodies of water.
Tips we received, they believe that she's in a body of water. You know, just some statements made by Naresh and stuff in the past. I think, when we look at some of these records and GPS records and stuff, knowing that, we kind of look at those areas to see if that's an area that he possibly visited.
On Thursday, Naresh Bhatt is expected back in court. His attorney has called for the arrest warrant to be thrown out, citing that detectives made false statements when they wrote that a body was dragged out of the home, despite only having evidence that a body was dragged inside the house.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you need to drag a body to the outside of the home to be arrested, do you? Oh, I'm sorry. Tell me about where the body is that you were dragging around. Let's talk about that before we ever talk about which direction you dragged it in, right? Ridiculous. Yeah, I think the use of the bathtub is very telling into what he planned to do with her. And the fact that they found blood underneath the bathtub in the cork of the lining of the bathtub, the sealant, tells me a lot of unfortunately what I think happened to her. Either she was dismembered and taken out, or he put her in there to stop the bleeding. I'm not sure which one, but I don't believe she's alive right now. Unfortunately, I think she is deceased, and this is a recovery mission. Unfortunately, it is not a rescue mission. She's been missing for what is it, like 2 months and about a week. 2 months and about a week. She's been missing for. I don't believe she's alive at all. Unfortunately, yeah. So that was that video. I just wanted to show you what the chief had to say, and yeah, I don't think this guy's going to get out of jail. We've seen mistakes on search warrants or arrest warrants before, especially in high profile cases. Like I can think of some in the Koberger case. I can think of some in the Delphi investigation. We've seen a couple. Seen a couple even in the Chad and Laurie Daybell court cases. We've seen some mistakes on paperwork. It's not uncommon, and I don't think it's going to overrule anything that's already happened to Naresh. So I think he's perfectly encapsulated in jail. I don't think he's going anywhere, so no one has to worry about that. Even if it did, right? And I've seen them do this before. So say he goes to court, he wins an appeal on his whatever, and they're like, oh, that mistake is too large, and we're gonna have to let him out because we can't keep him based on that error. They're just gonna reissue the paperwork with the correct stuff on it, let him walk out of the courtroom, and then rearrest him, and then take him back in and charge him again. That's all they're gonna do. I've seen that a couple of times in other cases where there's been some sort of paperwork, issue. Nanalana says, I'm glad her family has a baby. Yes, I'm glad that baby is the most well-loved baby. It has so many people, friends, acquaintances, community, random people that want to help and make sure that it has everything it needs to continue to get bigger and grow and be healthy and have a loving community behind it. It's got a lot of people who want to make sure that Mamta's spirit stays on with the child and that it is done through community and family. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the update on Mamta. I don't think they're far away from finding her. I think they're just like one piece of information away from figuring out where he put her. And I don't think she's that far away. I don't think it's like she's across state lines in, New York or something. No, I think she's in Virginia. I think she's somewhere around there. They just got to find out where. Where is she? Okay. All right. Let's go to our other story. So I wanted to do a quick update on Jessica Barnes too. I hope you like the thumbnail. Hope you like the thumbnail on that one. I saw some people talking earlier today in the chat about a polygamy situation in that household. I've heard a few people comment on that, And while I've seen people throw that word around, I'm not sure, because it sounds like he was sleeping with Jessica for a period of time after he was sleeping with the other girl. And I've heard nothing about him sleeping with the third girl. I mean, maybe you guys have, I haven't. I know he was having sex with that one other girl and got her pregnant and had a child to her. Then he married, here, let me put this in quotations, married Jessica. How that works when he already had a marriage license to the other girl, I have no idea. Um, but so he had a child with Jessica too, but unfortunately the child died. Was a stillborn baby, which is extremely sad. And you look at it like that. I mean, I said it the other night. I was like, it's almost like he had his own harem, and that's how I see it. I don't know if it's polygamy as such, or it's more like if I keep 3 women around and I'm the only guy, my likelihood of being able to get as much P word as possible increases. And that's sort of the way I saw it. But hey, maybe they did have some sort of tonight you sleep in my bed and tonight you sleep in her bed and that type of thing. Maybe they had a roster going on. Maybe he thought he was a rapper and he had a roster. Maybe he thought he was an NBA player and then he had to have a roster of women. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that the 3 of them well, 2 of them helped dispose of a body. They helped the police not find out what happened earlier and had ample opportunity to tell police what had happened to Jessica and not let her family wonder and, be caused more pain. Instead, they let it go for 2 months. So that's pretty horrible. All right, let me show you some more about Jessica. There's been a couple little updates, but nothing like crazy big. And I know a lot of people have been focusing on the hurricane coverage. We had a comment last night from someone. Someone left me a comment, and I'll read it out. Oh, thank you, my friend, for emailing me that. I appreciate it. If you're listening, I'm not going to say your name, but I appreciate it. I can't do that right now, but I will do it maybe tomorrow. My friend Heather. Heather left me a message on here on my video last night, and she says you should watch more videos. People that live in those affected hurricane areas have to say it's way more than what the news is saying, and the lack of government help uh, they are not getting is very sad. While I agree it seems like it is sort of slow, I saw a really interesting video last night. I'm going to show it to you before we go on to this next bit. I want to show you this. Now, this guy on Twitter, I don't know what he is, or is he a retired nurse, something, but they did this great video. I don't think I can play you the audio, unfortunately. It's got some music, but it shows you here. Look at this. It's a Chinook. It's a Chinook from the US Army landing to grab supplies or take supplies. I'm not sure which one, but you can see the Chinook here. I love those helicopters. They're so they're like the fat duck that shouldn't fly. You look at it and you go, how does that thing fly? And it just does. So I think let's have a look. So they were getting supplies, I guess. They were grabbing supplies or getting supplies, but you can see the US Army there. And then they have to say in their comments that, yeah, there he goes, bye. Bye, fat duck. Yeah, he says, bye, thanks. Bye, Chinook. They're so awesome. I love them. So apparently they've been visiting people's properties and either dropping off supplies, grabbing supplies. And it says here, finally and thankfully, I heard from a friend today that lives in Asheville, North Carolina. Here's what they had to say, posting with their permission. By this person's name is Ditty, P-E. I don't know what that means, but hello, Ditty. I'm stealing your post to show people. They said this is from their friend that lives in the area. They said, "Hi, just checking in to say hi. We have power back as of late Thursday night. Most don't know I'm actually in Asheville, North Carolina. It's been physically and mentally exhausting. If y'all will do me a favor, if you ever hear anyone saying how poor the response to Helene in our area is, it is just gaslighting BS. Yo, help try and turn our blue dot red." No, I don't care about that. The NCGOP is just reconvening October 9th to address disaster funding. Talk about late to the party. I don't know what that means either. They say they have been politicizing this before it even hit. Just want facts out there. It's sad that FEMA had to post a facts versus rumors webpage. All thanks to the lies. Yeah, we're just going to leave it there. But they're saying in their particular area, they seem to be okay, and there is help. There is help coming, and they said it's just taking some time. But sorry, I'm not trying to advertise whoever this hashtag is, but I just wanted to show you that there are people getting supplies into their properties and homesteads, and they are getting fresh water and meals and whatever else, medication and stuff. Apparently, they're just saying it's just taking some time, but they are getting to everyone's properties one by one. So that I don't know what that was. That looked like a whole. I'm trying to see in the photo what it is. Water. One of them is cases of water. One of them looks like maybe flour or rice. I'm not sure what it is. Well, there's a lot of guitar stuff going on there. But yeah, there you go. The Chinook video. Thanks for posting that. Look at it. I love it. Look, fat duck. The fat duck can fly. They're the funniest aircraft. They're sort of like, hey, those other aircraft? They look like a helicopter, but instead of being like long ways like the Chinook is, they have the blades on like an airplane, but they point up, not forward, and they can fly like that. But then they can move the propellers down and then fly like an airplane. Those things are crazy too, like the military helicopters. Yeah. No more. I just wanted to show you the Chinook. A Chinook? I like those. I like those helicopters. They're pretty cool. They're very loud. They're very loud. Yeah. Now, what's that other one called that has the blades on the front and then they lift up? A taipan? Is that what that one's called? A taipan? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. This one. What is that one called? Unfortunately, we had one of these crash in northern Australia a while ago, and it killed a U.S. Marine. Unfortunately, very very sad. Oh no, not a Taipan. It's a Osprey, a Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey. These things are funny looking too, but they are pretty sure they can twist the rotors forward and fly forward as well. Or Ping's just making stuff up that sounds very cool. Yeah, let me get you a photo of an Osprey if you've never seen one. They sort of look like a plane that's gone wrong. There you go. It's sort of like the opposite of that other one. Instead, the other one has a blade at the top and the back. This one has it side to side. And I'm pretty sure they can turn them that way. Am I going mental? Is that a real thing? Is Ping just making stuff up? No. Yeah, they can. Yeah. They can. I was thinking for a second, do they actually move? No, they do. I was like, I swear I've seen that before. Yeah, see, they do. They can tilt down and then fly like a plane. So they can actually go from that position straight forward and then take off. I love the military aircraft, especially the helicopters. They're so cool. All right. Oh, okay. My friend in Florida, I can't talk to you right now. I'm on the air. Yeah, they are weird looking, right? But they're so awesome. They're so awesome. So that one, the Chinook or something Nook, a Nook of a helicopter, I just call it the fat duck because it, it looks like it shouldn't be able to fly. It really doesn't look like it should be able to fly. And then you have there the Osprey, which are pretty cool. So, yeah, unfortunately, we had one that crashed in northern Australia. Harriers? A Harrier jump jet, you mean? You mean the old school, what are they? The Harrier jump? They're pretty cool too. They can just take off vertically. That's why they're called the jump jet, because they can go straight up. Okay. Let's go back to Jessica Barnes. I just wanted to show people that one from someone in North Carolina, in Asheville, because I get a lot of people saying, "Ping, you don't know, all the conspiracy theories are true," and I'm like, some of it might be true. I believe that there's probably a bit of truth in there. There has to be, otherwise people wouldn't be talking about it. All right. It says South Carolina husband strangled wife, dumped her body in the woods with help from roommates before joining search party. Why do they always join the search parties to look for their loved ones? Sometimes they do. It says here, yeah, so Jessica Barnes was last seen on August 1st in Pendleton, South Carolina. We know that she shared with her husband, Brandon, and two roommates, Kendall Mims and Victoria Tippett. She was not reported missing until her mother, Cecilia, contacted the Pendleton PD on September 10th. And then, according to WYFF, details surrounding the disappearance were vague, and material and personnel from SLED were required and needed for the continued investigation. Very mature police chief on that one, that he saw that, like, my department's too small. I don't think we can do this, and called in a bigger department to help. And I thought that was very, no ego, just wanted to get the answers for the family. No ego with that guy. And he actually emailed me back the other day. No, finally, I think he watched my show and heard me saying how crap he is for not emailing me back. He got back to me the other day. All right, let's watch this video about it.
New tonight, Pendleton police and SLED say a woman who's been missing since August has been found dead in Pickens County. Here's a photo of 20-year-old Jessica Barnes. She was found in a wooded area of Twin Lake in Pickens on September 19th. Well, now Jessica's husband, Brandon Barnes, Kendall Mims, and Victoria Tippett are all charged. Arrest warrants state Barnes strangled his wife to death. He's charged with murder. Her roommates, Mims and Tippett, are accused of helping Brandon get rid of Jessica's body. They're both facing multiple charges, including accessory after the fact and obstruction of justice. For much more, Fox Guys Kenny Harris is in Anderson right now for us. So, Kenny, what can you tell us about this case?
Yeah, Justin, well, investigators say after interviews lasting more than 10 hours yesterday, all three suspects confessed to their part in Jessica's murder, leaving them to be charged and arrested. They are currently here at the Anderson County Detention Center. Investigators say her husband, as you said, Brandon Barnes, used his arms to strangle Jessica to death. He's been charged with murder, and the judge denied bond. And investigators say two roommates, Kendall Mims and Victoria Tippett, helped Barnes get rid of Jessica's body. Both have been charged with accessory after the fact, obstruction of justice, and knowing of a crime but not reporting it. The judge also denied bond for each of them. A representative from Jessica's family spoke at the bond hearing this evening. Throughout the process, they've been working closely with investigators. And the Pendleton police chief says the investigation of what led to Jessica's murder is still very active, and they're trying to tie up a few loose ends there, but they believe that marital issues between Jessica and Brandon could have been the cause and part of what led to her murder.
Marital issues is not the way I would explain it. This is how I would explain it, and this comes from a person sent me this, like a screenshot from Reddit, and this person's actually given some pretty good information over the last, I don't know, month or so. I don't want to name them because I want to keep their privacy, but if you've searched the case, you may see them. They said, and I'm just going to read their comment, so it explains a bit more about what their relationships were like. And the reason I showed you that video, I wanted to show you them in their prison garments because we haven't seen that before. Okay, this person says Kendall came first with Brandon and fell pregnant. Then Jess came into the picture. Kendall was introduced to Jess as Brandon's sister. Then Kendall and Brandon got married secretly on July 31st, 2023, last year. Then Jess got pregnant. Then Jess and Brandon got married in January 2024. Then Kendall had her baby, and they moved in under the lie that Kendall was his sister. And Kendall and Brandon continued their affair after moving into the home together. Then Jess lost her baby in April 2024 when Victoria was introduced on the 4th of July as Brandon's girlfriend, Jessica and Brandon's anniversary. This made Jessica very upset. Apparently, there was a fourth girl in there named Julia, but she saw the trouble and ran for it before anything could happen. Then Victoria moved in, and then Jess was tragically murdered on August the 2nd. Jess was trying to get out for those couple of weeks. She was trying to leave and go to a shelter, but she didn't make it out of the situation in time. So this whole time, Brandon was illegally married to both Kendall and Jess, and Kendall knew about everything the whole time. And they say this is their speculation, so it's not a fact. They suspect Kendall got into this mess and stayed only because of the baby. He used pregnancy and babies to lock these women down. There you go. That was their opinion, and they've actually had some pretty good information over the last couple of weeks. So there's sort of like the bit that that's what I've heard too, is that it wasn't exactly a not like a consensual polygamy kind of thing where all the girls are understanding that this is an open relationship and they can they can connect bits and pieces with whoever they want to. It's sort of, that's how it works, right? That's not what. That's why I don't think that's what happened here. I think there was some backstabbing going on, and there was some dipsticks in oil pots when they shouldn't be, and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in that household. So, I don't know what religion they are. I've not heard anything about religion as such, but yeah. I'm just trying to see if I have anything else that I can tell you. So I know a lot of people are saying that it was a polyamorous relationship. I always thought that a polyamorous relationship had to be consensual from all parties and they all had to have an open understanding of what was going on. That's what I'm not clear about on this situation, whether they did actually know or they did not know. That's what I think. I think it wasn't a polyamorous or is it polygamy? Is that the right one? I don't think it was like that. I think it was more the fact that this guy was keeping a roster of women around under false pretenses. That's my opinion. I can't back that up with anything, but from my reading and talking to people close in the investigation, that's what I think. Maybe it'll come out later that they all knew about it, but you see here in the bit I read you before that at least one lie was told that Kendall was Brandon's sister. So unless Jessica was cool with like an incestuous relationship with her husband and his sister, I don't understand how that's like a polygamy type thing, because that's normally supposed to be like an understanding between the people that we're in like a 4-part relationship or a 3-part relationship, 2 women and a dude, or 2 guys and a girl or something, or 2 guys, 2 girls. Who knows? Who knows what people do? So look, that's what I've come to right now. My source on this, one of the ones I was talking to, has dropped completely silent. So I don't think we're getting an interview with her, unfortunately. And I'm just going to drop it and move on. Obviously, she's not interested, so I'm just gonna not bother contacting her again. I mean, I know she's going through a hard time in Carolina, but I think if she was interested, she would have got back to me by now. Rachel says, I think he played games with the young ladies and lied to everyone. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think he manipulated these young women to do what he wanted. Yeah, the baby was stillborn, unfortunately. Jessica's baby. Kendall's baby was born and survived and is okay. Wait, actually, what happened to her baby? Actually, when she was arrested and charged, what happened to her child? I don't think I've seen anything about that. Hold on. Kendall Mims. Kendall Mims? Let me hold on. Let me look at something. Because she had her child. Let me just check something. Yeah, Mims. Kendall Mims is the baby's mom. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let me just search something. Baby. I don't have anything. I don't have anything that would tell us what happened to her child. Yeah, I don't have anything that mentions what happened to her kid after she was arrested as accessory. I maybe DCF or went to a family member or something? Henry VIII syndrome. Danny says, I don't think these women are innocent. Well, you don't get charged with accessory to a crime for no reason. So I wouldn't say they're innocent either, no. Were they manipulated into the relationship? Possibly, yes. I don't believe they're innocent in the crime against Jessica, though. And there seems to be some mind game stuff too. Like when we read that letter that supposedly came from Jessica, there was a lot of like, oh, Kendall doesn't like you, and then we find out that he was sticking his dipstick into Kendall even when she lived in the home as his sister. So it's odd that Jessica thinks that Kendall doesn't like him, yet they seem to be, rolling in the hay when she's not around. So I don't. There seems to be some mind games going on between the women, especially between Jessica and the other two, and especially between Kendall and Jessica. There seems to be some sort of rivalry or competition for Brandon's affection. I'm not sure what it is, but something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't have an update. Let me. So there is a question here. Someone asked, could bigamy charges be brought up? I think I read that they were not going to do that. That the charges that they're already charged on are so much more serious than any kind of bigamy charge they could give to Brandon that it's not worth it. Like they're just saying it's not worth prosecuting on it when they've got more serious charges to deal with. It would literally just be a footnote in the court case. Like it's not. Yeah, it's just not worth it. It's not really not their main objective. Their main objective is to prosecute on the death of Jessica. Let me see if there's anything here about the baby. No, that is very interesting. I find it interesting that the police chief Crosby said Brandon and Jessica had marital issues. I would have marital issues too if my husband was married to two women. It says here, both charged with accessory. So both women, Mims and Tippett, were both charged with accessory after the fact, obstruction of justice, and misprision. What is that? Misprision of a felony? What does that mean? Oh, it means failing to report a crime or a felony. So they failed to report the murder. Yep, fair enough. Okay. Here. Brandon Barnes is the father of an infant. That is Kendall's baby. And that baby is now in the custody of his family. So his family has taken his child with Kendall into their home. So that the baby has gone to family, not with DCFS. Danny says complicit. Yeah, that's the word I would use. It is. It says in the article right there, Brandon Barnes is the father of an infant, and that baby is now in the custody of his family. That is Kendall's child. So there you go. There you go. So I wonder what his family thinks, being married to two women that lived in the house, and one of them thought the other girl was his sister. That poor girl, man. And then she even tried to get out at the end and wound up murdered instead. It's a terrible story. It really is. It's a real shame that that interview we lined up it won't come through because that person has been working on this case for about as long as I have, and I think there would have been a really interesting interview for you all to listen to. They do a lot of coverage on this case, and I don't know. Obviously not interested for some reason. All right. Let's move on, my ladies and gentlemen. That's my update. Just wanted to show those a few little things about Barnes. Hopefully we get more about it shortly. I think this week there's supposed to be a bit more come out. All right. Let me see what I have here. Oh, actually, let's look into Austin King for a second. No update, unfortunately. No update, just to say that search crews have been scaled back. That happened a few days ago. But right now, no more updates on Austin King, the hiker who was missing on Eagle Peak for the last few weeks. No update. That is extremely sad. And the Yellowstone National Park said they would not be putting out any more frequent updates unless they find him. So I don't think we're going to find out too much more about Austin unless they actually locate him. There's a photo of him, by the way. Danny says, I don't believe she thought it was his sister. Maybe. Shad says, hello. Hi. Marilyn says, you think he fell off the mountain? I do. I think he tripped and fell. Yeah. I think he was in inclement weather. He made it to the top. Bad weather set in. And then he tried to get back to camp and something went wrong. Where he is, I don't know. But I hope they find him. Hidden in a chasm? Could be. It could be. It's hard to find when, like, there's a lot of jagged rocks and broken bits and places you could fall into and not be found. It's very, very awful. Very awful for his family. But I do believe he slipped and fell. Yeah. I think their search map showed you that's what they thought too. Because if he was available, say something else happened, like a bear got him. Imagine he's climbing down the mountain and a bear appears. And the bear's like, you look way tastier than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm going to eat you instead. They would find blood evidence, bone, clothing, stuff like that. Even if it was a wolf or something, they would find bits of him. The fact that they haven't tells me that the more likely scenario is that he fell. Needle in a haystack. That place is huge. So Casper says, since it's a search and recovery, yeah, it's now a recovery operation. So they believe he is deceased as well. They do not believe they are looking for someone who is alive. I think if they thought he was alive, there would have been they'd be able to see signs of someone looking for attention, lighting a fire or, walking around, leaving footprints in the snow, something to tell them that there is another person up there. But in 10 days of walking and searching, they didn't find anything. The Yeti. Yeah, it could be. I mean, that mountain is huge. All right. All right. Let's move on. All right. Let's see if I can load this story. Well, actually, we're going to go back to Manassas Park. I wish it wouldn't do that. So they're saying here, police investigate deadly triple shooting in Northeast DC. One of the victims, later identified as 33-year-old Najee Dickens, died from their injuries. They say police are investigating the shooting in Northeast DC. According to the Metropolitan Police Department, the shooting happened near the intersection of Trinidad and Queen Streets around 2 a.m. on Saturday. When officers arrived in the area, they found 3 people who had been shot. One of the victims, later identified as the 33-year-old Najee Dickens, died from their injuries. The other 2 victims, a man and a woman, are expected to survive. Police say the 3 were shot in the 1600 block of Trinidad Avenue. No information has been released regarding a suspect description or motive. It is unclear what led up to the shooting at the time. Anyone with information is asked to contact detectives. So people just randomly, 3 of them get shot in the middle of the city at 3 a.m. in the morning. Very odd. Very strange. Hey FFS, how are you? About 4 months ago, we read about a story out of California about a guy's body who was found next to a highway. And I since it's Sunday night and we're trying to do a little bit of catch up before the week of true crime starts again tomorrow, I want to see if there's any information about who he was. Hold on a second. Is this it? Is this it? Hold on, I don't know.
Tonight, a body found in Riverside County identified as a missing woman. The family saying there is more to this story. Good evening. You're watching KCAL News at 6 on CBS Los Angeles. I'm Pat Harvey. Well, tonight, heartbreak in the Inland Empire. Friends and family of a missing woman finding their loved one dead. KCAL assignment editor Mike Rogers live at the desk now. And Mike, is there any word on how she died?
Yeah, Pat, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office, as the coroner, is still trying to determine how the cause and manner of death. But I can tell you tonight, the family is very frustrated about what they call a lack of action by law enforcement. I want to show you this photo. This was a feather alert. It's an alert that is put out for missing people of Native American heritage, put out by the California Highway Patrol after getting the report by the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. This has been going on. The search for Amy Porter has been going on for quite some time. Now, the search, though, I should point out, was only being conducted by the family, they say, because they accused the sheriff's deputies of not doing enough to get involved in the search. Now, the woman was originally reported missing in the Riverside County area, but information that the family obtained led them to this area in San Bernardino County, where the family says they conducted their own search and sadly found her body. We had a chance to catch up with those upset and frustrated family members.
Now it's finally an investigation. Now they want to do their jobs. They want to investigate. They want to go to the house. They want to finally take what we've seen. We knew better. We stayed out of the room. They're taking it now. They're doing an investigation.
Yeah, and you hear her say what we saw. That's because they say that when they went to her house, they found blood. They say they found evidence of foul play. They say that the law enforcement agencies did not take it seriously when they first reported it. Pat, I did reach out to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. They initially took this missing persons report, both on an update on what they think may have happened and the family's claims that not enough was done to begin with. And again, the family claims no search was ever conducted by law enforcement, that they had to initiate the search themselves. And unfortunately, when they initiated that search, is when they found her body. So, Pat, we are still waiting on a cause and manner of death to determine if there was any foul play in this. The family, though, is pretty confident that there was.
All right, we'll wait for that update too.
Okay, not the body that I was looking for in San Bernardino, but nonetheless, a very sad story. I've never heard of a feather alert either. I mean, I've heard of a clear alert, an amber alert, a silver alert, but not a feather alert. I've never heard of that one before. But what it is, it's for people of indigenous or native background. That's a good one to know. It's a good one for the knowledge base. So next time it pops up, we'll know what that means. I can't say I've ever heard of it before, but it wasn't that one. It was this one that I was looking for, and I was hoping to give you all an update, but there's still no update. July 23rd is when this happened, and we talked about it back then. And there was a man's body found that had been burned and then dumped in this lot in San Bernardino County. Here, let's play the video. It might refresh your memory.
Good morning. A lot of neighbors waking up to this disturbing discovery. Like you said, this is happening in a neighborhood just off Highland Avenue near the 210. I want to show you where detectives have really been centering their investigation. This is in a field right across the street from a number of homes. Just beyond that yellow tape, you might be able to see some of those evidence markers on the ground. That's where the body was found. It was a little after 10:30 last night when police arrived to this dirt field near the corner of Duffy Street and Donald Street here in San Bernardino. I just got off the phone with Sergeant Gray with the San Bernardino Police Department. I asked what the original call for service was. No details have been shared behind that call just yet, but he confirms officers found a person who was burned and dead. The body was found behind a neighbor's backyard outside their gated property. We just talked with another neighbor who lives across the street who says he was shocked to wake up to a crime scene outside his home.
Scary, that could have been anybody, like who did it.
Yeah, how and why did this happen? Just some of the questions being asked this morning. It's still early in the investigation, but fire personnel say they believe the person found here was a man. We don't know how old he was, but he's believed to have been an adult. It's not clear if he was from the area. We're told homicide detectives are investigating and working to find out what led up to the man's death.
So, from what I understand, the autopsy showed that this particular death was a homicide, but there has been no update since then. No person of interest, no idea of who this person might be. Nothing. Not anything at all. No name. No who might have done it. Just a dead, burned man found in a lot in San Bernardino County. I wish I could tell you more. What? I don't know what can I say? What did I say that you can say on YouTube? FFS says typically when someone goes missing, maybe on a reservation or something. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never seen that alert before. Yeah, I wish I had more. I wish there was an update for that person, but they just haven't done one. Maybe they're waiting on genetic genealogy or DNA to come back or something like that. It's been about 3 months and no update. It's sort of like the... What? What do you mean we can't say that? Yeah, we can say that word on YouTube. Why are we not allowed to say that? Is it a swear word? The other one I often look back into is that missing woman in California, and every time I look for it, I'm like, please give me an update, and there never is. And I wonder what happened to her. Where'd she go? It's that woman that was last seen in a bathrobe. Yeah, what was her name? Zoe Penrod. Still no update on Zoe Penrod either. She was the mum who she went missing on New Year's Day at about 9 a.m. So the 1st of the 1st, 2024, and had been suffering since the birth of her child. Originally postpartum depression, but that had escalated into postpartum psychosis. And she'd been having a really hard time to the point where she was no longer caring for the baby, and the husband was doing all the work with the child. she wasn't really looking after it anymore. She wasn't like nursing it, that type of thing. And the baby cried, and the husband went to go look after it. And when he got back into the other part of the home, she was gone. She had run from the home, and she was caught on a couple of CCTV cameras, and they never seen her again. Never saw her again. That was Humboldt County in California. I'm just trying to see if there was ever an update on her, even recently. Past month. No. Nothing. This was the very last photo of Zoe. Here, I'll grab it for you. No, not that one. Not that one either. What's going on? Yeah. So this was from the sheriff's office, Humboldt County Sheriff, and they say a deputy was able to positively identify Zoe in surveillance footage obtained from a Myers Flat business. This footage showed Zoe wearing a light-colored housecoat or bathrobe, walking northbound along the edge of Highway 254, Avenue of the Giants, just before 8:30 a.m. on New Year's Eve, 31st of the 12th, 23, consistent with the time frame she was reported missing from her residence. And they just never located her. Here's the last photo of her walking down the street in her bathrobe, and it's now October, and they never found her. Never found her ever again. The feather alert was recently enacted. Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Zoe Penrod. It makes me, where could she have gone? You would have thought that someone would have found it by now, eh? Yeah, let me see if I can download save image. Nope, that's not going to work. This is probably the photo I like of Zoe, if I can get this up for you. And it shows her at what I hope to believe were happier times with her and her child. This is her holding her baby. If I can get back to my thing, here we go. Let me delete this. Okay. Alright, we gotta wait for it to upload. Come on, upload. There we go. This is a photo I like of Zoe, not the one in the bathrobe. This is her with like holding the little baby. And she looks actually happy in this photo. So that's the one I always like to show to people when we talk about her case. So every couple of months I'll mention her again on the off chance that someone will watch my channel and see the story and, I don't know, say, hey, I saw her or something. I just try and keep her name alive in the true crime realm. Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, FFS. What does she mean? Wish I had an update for you about Zoe, but no update. No update about the body either. The one in actually, we had an Amber Alert yesterday. Did that get resolved? Let's have a look. It did. It must have got resolved because, again, we're back to the one lone name on the list, and that is Sebastian Rogers. He is the only unresolved case in 2024 on the Amber Alert list from this year. Elijah, he was located, and the last one now is Sebastian. Still outstanding. Let's see. I want to see. We had this little boy. His name was Truth Claybrooks. He went missing yesterday, but they must have found him. Yeah, they did. A few hours ago. Missing baby found in Nashville is safe, according to the TBI. Let me pause that. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is reporting that Truth Claybrooks has been located in Nashville and is safe. Jayla and Joni Claybrooks, the baby's relatives, have also been located. They were the two young ladies. One of them is the mother, the other is an auntie. They say an Amber Alert was issued on October 5th for the 2-month-old Truth Claybrooks on behalf of the Murfreesboro Police Department, but it has been resolved. Little baby has gone home. So that is good. And they found the mum and the sister as well. Good news. We always like that when we can have a good one. The lady in San Bernardino. Let me look. No, Zoe Penrod's 39. The lady in San Bernardino was named Amy Porter, and she was missing from Riverside County in California. Yeah.
Consumed by heartbreak and outrage tonight.
They claim the sheriff's deputies ignored their pleas to help find a missing loved one, so they mounted their own search and discovered her dead body themselves.
And KCAL News reporter.
Thanks for that.
And that is what you are going to be waking up to if
Fog.
you are near the beach and even a few miles inland. A cooling trend, though, is on the way by the middle and into the.
Thanks for that, CBS News. Appreciate you not showing us the full story. Let me look here. Amy, I just want to show you a photo of her. Here. I got a better photo. Yeah, there you go. There's a photo of the woman that was found deceased in Riverside, California. Amy Porter, she was 43 years old. And there's another photo of her too. She was a tribal citizen of the Morongo tribe and was last seen leaving a motel in a rush before getting into a car accident and fleeing on foot. They then found her deceased recently in a desert area off an interstate in California. So, very sad. This is the one that they had the feather alert for. So apparently she was ID'd via the tattoos on her foot when her body was located. Under the freeway, I don't know if she was found in a desert area, whatever that means. She was found in a desert area. Thanks, Reby. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right. Okay, I want to do a story from my friend Mr. Gambler. He wanted me to show you a story from Canada that happened, I think, when did it happen? Let me read the date on it. October 4, so it's fairly new. Yeah. If it'll play.
Identified the victims of a homicide in Curtis this week. 30-year-old Katrina Zwolinski and her mother, 67-year-old Lori Crew, were found dead inside a home near Curtis Road and Highway 2 on Tuesday. Zwolinski's infant son was found uninjured in the home, and a 33-year-old man was arrested. Michael Bellew is described as Zwolinski's boyfriend and father of that child, is facing 2 counts of second-degree murder.
Hold on, let me get you a better.
Durham region now, where 2 women were found dead and a man is in custody after police were called to do a wellness check at a home in Curtis.
Neighbors say they're shocked that the violence happened so close to home. CTV's John Musselman has more.
Durham Regional Police say it began with a wellness check at this home on Moulton Court. Officers entered the home shortly after 1 o'clock.
Officers arrived on scene and located 2 female parties. Both those parties were deceased and suffering from obvious signs of trauma. There was a small child who was also in the home at the time. However, that child was not injured. A 33-year-old male who was inside the home at the time has been taken into police custody, and the homicide unit has now taken over this investigation.
The exact cause of their deaths is unknown. Police are not releasing the names of the victims, but investigators say they knew the man who is now in police custody. Residents in this quiet neighborhood were shaken by the devastating news. They tell CTV News police have been to this home in the past.
It's just really shocking at the moment to process what's happening on our own street with our own neighbors. It's very sad.
I'm just concerned about my wife right now because she's a mess because that was one of her very best friends. And she's just, well, she's shaken up because she thought maybe something like this could happen at some point anyways, you know.
Well, I've lived here for over 30 years. It's like one of the quietest neighborhoods in Curtis. The first time anything like this has ever happened. So I'm just kind of shocked. I saw the ambulance. I thought maybe somebody just had a heart attack. And then I looked down the street. There was like about 10 cop cars. And I knew something big going down.
The motive is unknown. Police say there is no threat to public safety, and this is being called an isolated incident.
An isolated incident. That's what they always want to call them. Police have identified the victims as 30-year-old Katrina Zolinsky and her mother, 67-year-old Lori Crew. Their cause of death have not been disclosed. The child was Katrina's son and Lori's grandson. Meanwhile, Michael, is it Belhu or Blue? Katrina's ex-boyfriend and the child's father was arrested at the scene and has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder over this. They're saying it is an intimate partner violence case, and it's very tragic. It sounds like it. They say the 33-year-old man has been charged with murder in connection with the deaths of his ex-girlfriend and her mother in Cordis earlier this week. The Durham Regional Police said they were called to the home on Moulton Court, and they tried to conduct a wellness check on the residents. When they arrived, they found the 2 deceased women suffering from obvious signs of trauma, and a child was located at the scene unharmed. Let me see if we can find a photo of Katrina and Lori. That's from the Durham Police. Here. Wow, very, very pretty girl. Here is the daughter with her mother. And let me see if we can go to the article. All right. Let me do some wizardry. Hold on. Let me do some ping wizardry. Hold on a second. Let's see if this works. And it does. There we go. All right. So it says a man charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of the mother and grandmother of his child. And they say Michael now stands charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder in connection with the October 1 death of Lori Crew and her daughter Katrina. And it says an Ontario man accused of killing the grandmother and mother of his child was previously charged with mischief earlier this year in connection with an alleged unwanted visit to the same address where the 2 women were found deceased. Michael now stands charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder in connection with the October 1 death of Lori and her daughter Katrina, with whom Michael shares an infant son. The son was unharmed at the address, apparently. Court records also show that the accused was charged with committing mischief at the same address in February of this year. The files allege that the 33-year-old willfully damaged the front door. He was then charged, and in March, with breaching orders to appear in court for the mischief charge. So he was charged again. They say the Durham Regional Police Service have said the 2 women were found dead inside the home, and they had obvious signs of trauma. On Wednesday, residents in the area identified the pair as Crew, a retired grandmother who lived at the home with her youngest grandson, and Zolinsky, Crew's daughter and the boy's mother. The boy is about a year old and was removed from the home unharmed, according to police. Neighbors said the home was stormed by officers Tuesday after police went to the home for a wellness check. Police have not provided any details about how the women were killed. I'm guessing either a gun or a knife. They said obvious signs of trauma. Several nearby residents are now wondering if they could have done anything to help the mother and grandmother. Longtime resident Ken Prescott said police swarmed the street around 1 p.m. on Tuesday. One of his neighbors, who he said lives next door to the victims, was visibly distraught as she wandered down the court. She was in her house and all of a sudden she saw the cops jumping the fence and raiding the neighbor's house. She came down here right after it happened and she was in shock. Prescott said he would have often had brief conversations with Crew, who he said could frequently be seen taking her grandson for a stroll around the neighborhood. In recent months, he said the woman had become the primary carer for her daughter's child. Another neighbor called Caitlin Joy called the loss truly devastating and avoidable. And they said, Katrina and I grew up together in elementary and high school. She loved hunting, fishing, and being outdoors. Tuesday wasn't the first time police have been called to the address. According to neighbors in our court documents, multiple residents said police have attended the home several times over the last year, at times accompanied by an ambulance. According to a neighbor, Lisa Town, in the winter, police detained a man outside the residence. There was a commotion over there that day. We've seen police cars go to that house. Laurie had obviously attempted to get help several times, but it just kept on escalating. They say Kirchall Carter, who lives a few doors down from the scene, recalled another incident about a year ago in which police were called to the same house after a man turned up in an attempt to see the child. The grandmother was taking care of the child, he said. It's pretty sad if it's a lady because she was a nice person. There you go. Sounds like a history of DV, and unfortunately, it got to a really bad point where they died. They were murdered by the person committing the DV crimes. FFS says that escalated quickly, mischief to unaliving 2 people. Something tells me there was a bunch of them because each neighbor had a different story of how many times the cops had gone there. Casper says, is that Durham in Ontario, Canada? Yes. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. It is in Ontario. So yeah, it's a really nice photo of the 2 of them. I like that photo. All right. Let's see what else I have for you. Actually, I'll check a little bit more into this. Give me 1 second. Shad, we won't hear anything more about her until early next year. Where she's been to court over the last couple of months, but it's mostly been sealed. We'll know more when we go to trial early next year, which we'll be attending. So I'm going to be attending court live, and we'll be going. So you'll be getting a first-hand look at how trial occurs in Australia for a high-profile case. We're going to be live at the courthouse early next year. So. Who is the mushroom lady? Her name is Erin Patterson, and she is accused of killing 3 people at a lunch at her property that involved mushrooms inside a beef Wellington that they say are poisonous death cap mushrooms that ended up killing 3 of them. 1 survived after a liver transplant, and her ex-husband, who was supposed to be there that day, bailed at the last minute and survived. So she has been charged with 5 counts of attempted murder, 3 counts of murder, and she is heading to trial early next year. And we will be in court next year for it. We are heading to trial. It is life in prison. Life in prison is probably what you'll get for murder 1. Some of the other ones, like, those other ones can get lower, like 20 years, 15 years, I think. Poisonous beef Wellington, yes. Yeah, let me see if I can find something for people who don't know who Erin Patterson is. Let me see if I can find something about going to trial. Hold on. Let's go to the ABC News from a little earlier this year. So we did get that directions hearing in late August, and that directions hearing set a trial date for March 2025. So we're heading to trial next year. Next year. So it took almost 2 years to finally get her in a courthouse to, face these charges. Sorry, it's not March, it's April. Sorry, so it's even longer. I don't know why I thought March. So it's April next year at Latrobe Valley in Victoria. It's in the country. So we're actually heading out to Latrobe Valley, I think, for about 2 weeks to cover this trial. It's going to be interesting. Now, so we're heading to the courthouse. I'm going to show you where it is in relation to Melbourne. So this is Latrobe Valley Magistrates Court. I'm not sure if they're having it here or somewhere else. This is the one where she went to last time. And there's a Morwell police station right here. So they get transferred through the back here. So let me zoom out. So Latrobe is here. And if you go a little bit down here, you'll find the area where the crimes actually happened. If I zoom out, it might show me. Here, Leongatha. Leongatha is the town where these crimes occurred and where Erin lived. And she wants to go to court almost an hour away in Latrobe Valley or something, when she could have had it in Melbourne over here in the city. Would have made it very easy for me to get to it. Instead, I have to drive all the way out down over here and get out here. It's about a 2-hour drive from where I live, so it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, so we do have Australian police drive BMW patrol cars. I think they do now. They used to drive Holden and Ford, but since they stopped making the sedan models, they've changed to some other brands. FFS says, is she on Tinder ping? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think she is on Tinder in jail. I don't believe so. All right. Okay, let me have a look here. Yeah, so there you go. We can probably read this one if you want. There's Erin in court with a sketch someone did in Latrobe Valley. So if you want to know like the family tree here with Erin, there's Heather Wilkinson, married Ian Wilkinson, and there's Simon Patterson and Aaron Patterson, right? So these two are related to Simon on Simon's side. So in Aaron and Simon's relationship, it would have been on his side, the paternal side, which is the male side, I guess. So it goes up through him to Heather, and then Heather married Ian. Aaron Patterson married into the family. So she married into their family. They had 2 children together, and then they divorced. So at the time of this lunch, Aaron was separated from Simon. Simon was supposed to attend this lunch, but did not. And then it's Don Patterson and Gail Patterson. They are known through Heather Wilkinson. So there you go. You can sort of see the family tree here. Don Patterson is related to Simon, and Gail Patterson also through Heather and Simon. And yeah, there you go. So Erin's the sort of outlier here. She married into it. Well, I guess so did Ian, but there you go. That's the family tree. What happens to these two? We don't know. I guess they're living with dad, but he almost died in hospital. They allege that she tried to poison him several times in 2022 and 2023, and that he ended up in hospital in a coma from whatever she did to him, allegedly. whatever she allegedly did to him, he ended up in a coma in hospital. And then she tried to tell everyone that she nursed him back to health and that she was the hero. When really, police allege that she tried to kill him. So no cameras allowed in court. I'm going to court and I'll be sitting in court each day, and then I'll be doing a live show back at my Airbnb after court each day. So I'll be at court for most of the day. I'll do updates when I can from the courthouse, and then I'll do a big sort of wrap up live show at the Airbnb. So it's going to cost us something like, we worked it out, it's going to be like $4,500 or something just for the housing when we go up there. It's going to be a pain in the bum and freaking expensive. Because apparently, United States TV producers are coming to this trial to film for 2 different documentaries that they are filming, one for Discovery Channel, one for Netflix, from what I heard. So interesting. So I'll be there with a lot of TV cameras, I suspect. It'll be an interesting trial. This trial is going to be massive. Probably the biggest trial in Australia in many, many years. It'll be worldwide. There'll be people watching from every country on earth. On her, yes. There'll be two different film crews down here from America filming. So prices of housing and Airbnbs have gone through the roof due to film crews willing to pay a lot of money to get accommodation for next year, which means we have to start booking soon. We have to book our own accommodation. I think, probably before December. We have to try and find a apartment or even a hotel or something, just so we can sleep and then go to court in the morning. That's about it. It's going to be a long few weeks because the drive is so far away from home. I can't drive 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours at night, because you guys will never get a live show. By the time we get out of court at night, if I drove home, it would be about 7:30 at night. And then I'd have to do a live show, go back to sleep, wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, drive 2 hours out, and be there for 8 a.m. for court. It'd be too much. So we're going to have to stay out there. FFS says, I guess we love our, yeah. You guys do, apparently. You guys do. So if anyone wants to give us a little bit of help with that, those links are in the description. I don't really ever ask for any donations or anything, but this one I do need some help with. It's going to cost a hell of a lot of money to do it, which I'm happy to pay. Like I'm putting most of it on my own credit card, but yeah. Gambler says, did you have a chance to look at the woman charged with triple murder? Did you send me that one? Let me see, buddy. Let me see. Oh, that one. Okay, yep. I know the one you're talking about now, bud. Yeah, what's her name? Sabrina Calder. Sabrina Calder. Let me see if I can find a video for you. All right, let's go to the CBC News. Okay. Let's go to CBC News, the National.
I think by definition, she is a serial killer.
3 murders in 3 days this week that police have linked to one woman, 30-year-old Sabrina Calder of Toronto. Victims in 3 different cities, Toronto, Niagara Falls, and Hamilton.
It's always difficult to speculate on what somebody would do.
On Tuesday, a woman in her 60s was found dead inside her Toronto home. Police have not been able to identify her, but according to neighbors, the accused also lived in the area.
I did recognize the woman kind of instantly. She used to walk her cats on a leash in the alley behind these houses.
The next day in Niagara Falls, 47-year-old Lance Cunningham was attacked in the middle of the day while walking his dog near this park. Then, Thursday in Hamilton, a third victim. Police say 77-year-old Mario Bilic died in hospital after an apparent stabbing.
We have her present there, following him then to the area of his vehicle, and then leaving the area shortly after the offense is committed.
Billich was a well-known and liked retired teacher.
He was a wonderful man. He wouldn't hurt a fly, nobody. That's why it's painful to know his news.
Police arrested Calder later that day at a hotel in nearby Burlington. Billich and Cunningham were randomly targeted, they say, while Calder was known to the Toronto victim.
When we have someone who's committed 3 offenses in a real tight time frame like that, there is a risk of them obviously committing further offenses.
But in this case, the suspect is unusual.
It would make me wonder what's in this woman's background to have made her engage in homicide, like once, let alone 3 times.
This case is full of unknowns. Police are also looking for this woman. On the day of the first alleged murder, she bought clothes Calder had with her when she was arrested 2 days later.
Very strange. Let me grab an article that has more information about it from the CBC. 3 murders in 3 days in Toronto, Niagara Falls, and Hamilton, or Toronto, Niagara Falls, Hamilton. Accused has been charged with 2nd and 1st degree murder. Here's a photo of her with her bandana and nose ring. They say a 30-year-old Toronto woman has been arrested and charged with murder in the separate deaths of 3 people in Toronto, Niagara Falls, and Hamilton, according to the Toronto Police. The Niagara Regional Police, the Hamilton Police Service, said in a news release, the victims are an unidentified woman believed to be in her 60s. In Toronto, Lance Cunningham, 47. In Niagara Falls, in a woman believed to be in her 60s is one of the identified women in Toronto, and Lance Cunningham in Niagara Falls, and Mario Bilch, 77, in Hamilton. Sabrina has been charged with 2nd-degree murder in the Toronto death, 2nd-degree murder in the Niagara Falls death, and 1st-degree murder in the Hamilton death. Police said investigators were able to link the Hamilton and Niagara Falls deaths after they determined the suspect matched the description in both cases. Investigators later linked the suspect to the Toronto death. Investigators believe Cunningham and Bilch were randomly targeted, while the Toronto victim was known to the suspect. This is Lance Cunningham on the left and Mario Bilch or Billich on the right here. So an older gentleman and a younger gentleman. He was 47 and he was 77. A weird victimology, really. They say Niagara police said they arrested Sabrina in a Burlington hotel on Thursday at 5:45 p.m. After her arrest, she was charged with all 3 murders. In Toronto on Tuesday, police were called at 2:08 p.m. to Keele Street and Dundas Street West after it was reported that a woman in her 60s was found in a home with visible trauma on her body. In Niagara Falls on Wednesday, police were called at 2:49 p.m. to John Allen Park after it was reported that there was a disturbance. When officers arrived, they found a man who was critically injured. Despite attempts to save his life by paramedics and firefighters, Cunningham was pronounced dead at the scene. In Hamilton on Thursday, police responded to a request at 12:26 p.m. for an ambulance to the parking lot of 209 McNabb Street North, where an unresponsive man was suffering from significant injuries consistent with a stabbing, and that was Billich. He was taken to hospital where he died. At a news conference in Niagara Falls on Friday afternoon, Niagara Police Chief Bill Forty said the accused appeared in provincial court in St. Catharines on Friday to face the 3 charges, and she was scheduled to appear Friday as well at the Toronto Regional Bail Centre on a virtual link. According to Toronto Police, she's being held in custody by Niagara Police. Forty said if convicted, the accused would fit the definition of a serial killer. He added he was pleased that police were able to make an arrest given the killings occurred over 3 days of the week. He noted that police have not yet released exactly how the victims were killed. They said attacks on 2 men believed to be random, and the third one, the woman, was a known acquaintance. Forty said police were not aware of any connections between the attacks on Cunningham and Billich or any motive. The 2 men were going about their business, and we believe they were random attacks. 40 said the accused has interacted with police before the incidents. He added it was not uncommon for her to use public transit and taxis. He said more than 100 investigators are working on the case, trying to figure out the timeline of events, and have done extensive canvass of video footage. 40 said police are in contact with other police services to see if there are other alleged attacks in Ontario that might be linked to the suspect. According to this one, the Hamilton victim was a retired Catholic school teacher, and that was Billich. He a retired teacher in the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic School District School Board, and he was well known in the Hamilton area. They said he was in a social club before the attack, meeting with friends as part of his weekly routine, and police have video of the accused present there, following him to the area of his vehicle and then leaving the area shortly after the attack. Security camera footage from local resident Daniel Miles shows Billich and Sabrina walking in the same area only minutes before police were called to a parking lot for reports of an unresponsive man suffering from stab wounds. Okay, let's watch the footage here
We have
of
some
Mario.
disturbing new details to share with you of the final moments of a man in his 70s who was allegedly randomly targeted and killed, one of 3 people in our province, police say, who died at the hands of an alleged serial killer. Naima Weingarten joins us with the latest.
Shannon, we're in a Hamilton parking lot where people have been coming by throughout the day and leaving flowers to commemorate Mario Billich, one of the victims. I spoke with people who knew him today, who still cannot believe what happened. I also spoke with a man who captured his final moments on his security camera.
Mario's a common person around here.
Dan Miles, who lives nearby, has many security cameras around his home. The footage, he says he's now shared with investigators, believed to show Mario Billich as he walked down the street. Another camera believed to show his alleged killer, Sabrina Koldar, following him right before he was attacked, and later running away.
But once I started looking through the footage, I began to realize it was a targeted attack on a totally defenseless, harmless, elderly man.
At the social club where the 77-year-old retired Catholic schoolteacher will go to every week, his presence is already missed. Calogio Milazio was his bartender when he walked in for the very last time.
The day he died, I was bartending, and he came in and did his routine, had his coffee, sat for an hour or so, and then he left around 12-ish.
I could describe him as a perfect gentleman, kind, caring, always happy, always something bright, and always something nice to say.
Billich was one of the 3 people that Koldar is charged with killing over the span of just 3 days this week in Toronto, Niagara Falls, and Hamilton. Police say that if convicted, she would fit the definition of a serial killer.
When we have someone who's committed 3 offenses in a real tight time frame like that, there is a risk of them obviously committing further offenses.
It all started in Toronto on Tuesday when a woman believed to be in her 60s, who is yet to be identified by police, was found dead with visible trauma to her body. The following day in Niagara Falls, 47-year-old Lance Cunningham was killed as he was walking his dog. In an email, his wife said they have a 13-year-old daughter and told CBC he loved fishing, hiking with their dogs, a sports fanatic, lifelong Pittsburgh Steelers fan, loved all kinds of music, always trying to help people with advice. She added he didn't deserve this and said she wants her husband back. Investigators believe Billich and Cunningham were randomly targeted, while the Toronto victim was known to Koldar, who neighbors say lived in her area. While there are still so many unknowns with the investigation, this criminologist says the fact that the suspect is a woman is rare.
It's incredibly uncommon in Canada or North America for women and girls to be engaged in any sort of criminal activity, let alone violent criminal activity. So it would make me wonder what's in this woman's background to have made her engage in homicide, like once, let alone 3 times.
Police say they were able to link the Hamilton and Niagara Falls deaths because the description of the suspect, Koldar, was the same. They later connected her to the death in Toronto. Police were also initially looking for a woman who bought clothing that Koldar was wearing when she was arrested, but have since identified her. Niagara police said they're in touch with other police services to figure out whether there are any other alleged attacks in Ontario that could be linked to this. And as people came by and continued leaving flowers for Billich, I heard that just a couple of weeks before he died, he was quoting an Italian poem around the social club, saying you are remembered until you are forgotten. Shannon?
Terrible.
What a very strange story. What made her go out and stab at least one person that she knew, two people that appear to be random? Very, very odd. Especially to be over such a prolonged period of time. It's not like they all happened within a few hours. They happened over a few days. That's, not normal, and very, very, very strange timeline. I'm just trying to see if we can find anything, else about Calder. Woman arrested in Canada. Yep. Yeah, let's go to the Daily Mail, see what they have. They say a suspected serial killer has been captured by Canadian police after the grisly discovery of 3 people who had been murdered. She is accused of carrying out the murders from October 1 to 3, including fatally stabbing 2 random men in separate cities. Though a woman in her 60s was found by police in Toronto around 2 p.m. on Tuesday with trauma to her body in her home. Her identity and manner of death have not been revealed by police. I wonder why they revealed the 2 men but not the woman. Here's a photo of Sabrina. Very strange. Like, she keeps wearing that weird purple bandana, and in some of the photos it's got like a bun at the front, like a knot. And this woman here, investigators chillingly revealed they are also searching for a woman in Burlington, Ontario, who was seen in CCTV footage buying clothes that Sabrina was later wearing. They got to track down this woman. She does not look 60 years old. So who is she? Because she's not the first victim. She's too young. There you go. See? She has it sort of like with a knot at the front. She looks very vacant in the face and the eyes in this photo. Very just like not there. Almost like disconnected from reality. Like in a trance. That's what I see. They say the 47-year-old man who was attacked and died is survived by a wife and daughter. They say the other man, the 77-year-old, Bilich's daughter Antonella, said in a lengthy Facebook post that her father was a beloved grandfather and former high school teacher who was well known in the community. She says, "Our dad was killed yesterday on a senseless stabbing. We are still reeling from this news, but I am here to tell you a different story of him." She said he was an extremely devoted husband, father, and nono. A very funny and quirky guy with a biting, sarcastic, humorous side at times. They say his wife passed away from cancer in 2022, and Antonella wrote that he would have spent his days playing cards with friends, visiting his wife's grave at the cemetery, and his family said he was going about his daily routine when the tragic stabbing occurred. It's very sad that he lost his wife of many years, and that must be his daughter, Antonella, and he lost his wife in 2022. That's very, very sad. All because of this evil mongrel. Like, this absolute psycho went to 3 different cities and killed 3 people. What is the history of this person? Because I doubt this is the first time she's hurt people. I don't think so, right? You gotta guess that there's some sort of background here that we're not being told. People don't just go, "Oh, today I'm gonna pick up a knife and go stab 3 people," just because. There's more here that we're not being told or police don't know yet. Because I just don't believe someone does this for no reason. Or there's no prior history. They just got up one day and decided, "Yes, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and kill 3 people." Here's that mongrel again on the screen. Here you go. Let's look up this absolute bat crazy woman. Let's see. 18 hours ago from Sky News. Let's have a look. They say the woman arrested in Canada after 3 people were killed. Yeah. Yeah, look at the sort of triangle of the map of like the different areas. Toronto, Hamilton, and Niagara Falls. It's sort of like in a triangle, right? A weird sort of, they're almost like exact same distances apart. It's very odd. Let's see here. That photo is so spooky. It's like an evil Smurf has taken over the body of a human. It's going to go kill people. They say two of the dead, Mr. Billich and Mr. Cunningham, were said to have been randomly attacked. I still find that very strange. Why were the other two randomly attacked, but the first one was a targeted attack? Something's very odd here. They said when asked if the killings would have continued, Niagara Regional Police Service Chief Bill Forty said, "I'm very pleased we were able to bring this to a closure in a quick manner. When we have someone who's committed 3 offenses in a real tight time frame like that, there's a risk of them obviously committing further offenses." So I think they believe if she wasn't caught, that she would have killed more people. I think she was on a killing spree. Gambler, that's very interesting. Gambler says, I don't think she drove. It would be time consuming traveling by taxis and buses. Yeah, very odd, right? In that picture, it looks like her pants are on her head. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Hmm. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this one, and if there's any more developments, we'll have to talk about it. Very, very strange. Hold on. What does this say? Female teacher 45 admits killing her parents and dismembering them with a chainsaw after a fight about money. Verity Beck 45 murdered her parents Reed and Miriam 73 and 72 in January 2023 after an argument over money she had stolen from them. Beck shot her parents in the head and disposed of their body parts in trash cans after cutting them up. She was handed a life sentence without parole on Monday for the gruesome killings. All right, let's have a look at this. This will be the last one before we go. Let's see if we get a video out of this. Yep.
The crime in Montgomery County. A couple in their 70s was found dead and dismembered inside their Jenkintown home. And the couple's adult daughter is behind bars tonight, facing murder charges. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at Abington Police Headquarters with the details. Annie.
Yeah, and Rick, it was the couple's son who grew concerned after he hadn't spoken to his parents in a week. He went to their home, saw a body inside, confronted his sister, and then left and called 911. 43-year-old Verity Beck charged with murdering her 72-year-old mother and 73-year-old father. This is video of Abington police transporting the suspect to jail. Her father, Reed, and mother, Miriam, a former school nurse, were both shot in the head inside their quaint home in the 1100 block of Beverly Road. Investigators say Verity stayed in the home with their bodies for nearly a week while she worked to dismember them.
Verity used this chainsaw and then had put parts of her parents into trash bags.
This 55-gallon trash bin, authorities say, held some of the couple's remains and was transported to the coroner's office along with her father's decapitated body. Tuesday evening, the couple's concerned son entered the home, found a body with a sheet over it, spoke to his sister, left, and called 911. When police arrived, they made the grisly discovery and they asked Verity, "Where are your parents?" And Verity replied, "They are dead." They also found guns belonging to Verity and believe they found the murder weapon. The crime left neighbors dumbfounded.
I'm completely stunned. It's a quiet neighborhood, very friendly, kids all over the place.
Authorities are still searching for a motive.
We did find evidence in the house of a safe that had been attempted to be broken into.
Now, the couple's son told authorities he believed that he was texting with his parents all week. Now, authorities believe his sister was using the parents' phone to make the son think that they were still alive. For now, reporting live in Abington, Annie McCormick, Channel 6 Action News.
What an absolute nutcase that woman is. But it sounds like she'll be in jail for a long time. They say she has admitted to murdering and dismembering her parents in court on Monday. She was escorted to the court hearing as she avoided, let's see, what does it say? They say that she's a former special education teacher and admitted to killing her parents and dismembering with a chainsaw. She murdered them in January 2023 after her parents confronted her about stealing money from them. They say she pleaded guilty and was deemed mentally ill during her stoic courtroom appearance. In January, her lawyers argued that she was legally insane when she killed Reed and Miriam, but the judge rejected that notion. The DA said this is a person who is very dangerous. Yeah, I would agree. Here's a photo of her. There's the person. I'll show you. Right here. That's her photo. Life in prison? Straight to jail? Could be. Yeah, she is absolutely a nutcase. The fact that she was okay with like keeping her parents under a sheet and then dismembering them, all because of an action that she did, aka stealing money from them. I mean, she is very much crackers. She is crackers in the head for sure. Much crackers in her head. All right, let's see what else it says. It says she told police she was $100,000 in debt. Her parents accused her of stealing a $600 rent check from a property they owned, along with buying items on Amazon using Reed's money, including a $1,000 necklace. There's her in court now. She looks very different today. There's her in court, apparently. They say Verity's brother Justin knew something was wrong when he hadn't seen or spoken to his parents for several days. He'd only received text messages which he discovered was Verity pretending to be them. When Justin finally went to their house to check up on them, it was too late. He drove past the house earlier in the day and saw all the lights were off. Justin then drove back to his own house to get soup for Verity, who complained to him about being sick. When he later arrived at the house, he found Verity and a dead body, covered by a bloody sheet. Verity told Justin things at home had been bad, according to the 2023 criminal complaint. Investigators said she told Justin she needed more time when he said he had to call police. Justin left the home after talking with her and called police. He knew his sister had a handgun. Police came shortly after and found both Reed and Miriam's bodies badly decomposed. They found a chainsaw and the house smelt horribly. A trash can inside the bedroom was filled with dismembered body parts. Reed's body was decapitated and wrapped in a comforter. When police entered the home, they asked Verity where her parents were. She allegedly responded, "They are dead." Investigators said they found 3 guns with spent rounds, 2 registered and 1 unregistered, in Verity's bedroom. Verity's lawyer, James Lyons, told NBC News 10, while everyone in the family realized that she had mental health issues, no one recognized the seriousness of it or how serious it had become. Lyons also told the outlet on Monday that Verity feels remorseful and is much more clear now. Verity will receive mental health care while she's in prison. She'll be held in a therapeutic wing instead of a maximum security area. There you go. There you go. Someone who dismembered their parents over a $600 rent check. Yeah, he entered that home and saw the body. She's very lucky that she didn't try to kill him. They still have the DP. Yeah, but she's mentally ill. They're going to just keep her in a ward. I know everyone you ever hear on these type of crime videos when they interview all the neighbors, they're all like, "Oh, I've lived here for 99 years and I've never heard of anything like this." And they're like, "What about the murder that occurred here last year where 4 people were killed inside a home?" "Oh, I didn't hear anything about that one." It's always safe here. That's what they always say. All right, that was the last one from tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on the air for quite a long time, almost 2 hours. It's been a very long Sunday night show. We don't normally do 2 hours, but I don't know. We just talked about a million cases, so why not? I'm going to get out of here. Hey, I love you very much. The ending video is a little fast. We're working on slowing it down some more. The sort of animation we have to use to do the names wants to go much faster than the video does. It's a real rigmarole. So I'm going to have another crack at it tonight and try to slow it down a little bit. But I hope you see a name on there. Tomorrow, the PayPal people's names will be on there. They'll be the top ones. And then the members will be below that in membership tier order. So tonight they're alphabetical, but tomorrow they'll be in their different sections. So hey, I love you all. Have a great Monday tomorrow. We'll have a lot of news tomorrow, I promise. And yeah, we'll be back, okay? I hope my Niners do better next week because they suck right now. And we'll do more Hurricane Milton coverage as the week progresses. We may even have some extra live shows covering the hurricane and doing just weather coverage in the next couple of days for the hurricane hitting Florida. So keep an eye out for that. I'll see you again tomorrow night, 9:30 tomorrow night, and then yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Thanks to these two people, by the way, Sienna and Danny Mitchell, for giving away memberships to people. That is extremely kind. And like I said, if you do want to support the show, those links are in the description every single night if you can't find them elsewhere. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Have a great Monday. Get up early, do work, whatever you have to do. And I'll see you back here at 9:30 tomorrow night, okay? Bye. Bye.